What's up, everyone? Welcome to another video. This is gonna be a weird one. One, because I'm holding the microphone, and two, I'm not playing anything. I will be reviewing Daredevil Born Again, the two-part season premiere is what I was trying to say. A buddy of mine texted me, I think was it today or yesterday, saying like, hey, like the show came out, I want to know your thoughts. And I said, you know what, instead of sending him a 30-minute, like review on my phone, I might as well just film myself do it and then see what happens, see what else everyone else thinks about my opinions on this stuff, because I kind of fell off as a Marvel fan because it got too much, man. Everyone had opinions and stuff like that, but there's one thing I don't play around with, and that's fucking Daredevil. I've loved it since it came out on Netflix. I've watched all of them. I watched Daredevil, Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, Iron Fist, and The Defenders, and The Punisher. Punisher was the best show, but I've been so excited for this show to come back, and I'm really excited that it is back in this new way, kind of like breath of fresh air, sort of, but also this is like Disney, but kind of shocked me that it was pretty good, you know? But the format of this is going to be me ranting, and I took a lot of notes on both of the episodes. I'm taking this seriously, guys. I'm taking this very seriously. This is investigative. Take Letterboxd away from me. I've been too investigative on movies and TV shows now. I'm a self-actualized cinephile, and I hate it. Anyways, let's get the circle out here so you're a little closer to me. And by the way, that background, we're gonna get to it, but it's like one of the best fight scenes I've seen in a Marvel anything in a very long time, and that's saying a lot, okay? First things first, let's just have like a nice like moment to congratulate the shows even back. Having Charlie Cox come back as Daredevil, freaking Jon Bernthal coming back as the Punisher, Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin, who I think default will always be Kingpin. He is the best. Like just such a good actor, especially like Full Metal Jacket, Law and Order, Criminal Intent. Just like he's such a good actor. You also had Deborah Ann Woll coming back as Karen Page, which I freaking love her. Like she is one of the people that got me into Dungeons and Dragons after, you know, I just started following her around and on social media. And I'm Jon Bernthal, like all the cast of all the shows I've like been following for a while. And it's of course can't. Let's actually first, let me just do a big warning, spoiler warning for the first two episodes of Daredevil Born Again. I'm serious. I will be going to spoilers. I do not care if you haven't watched it yet. So just click out of the video and watch it after you watch the two episodes. Come back. I'll be here. You know what? I'm gonna give you like 4 seconds to just like quit out the video or talk yourself into hearing spoilers because you don't care. But I mean, honestly, you're probably gonna forget about the spoilers anyway, so I'm just gonna... Foggy dying kind of sucks, right? The show comes back, and my boy Eldon Henson's like, you know what? Fat Disney paycheck, let's do it. He dies in the first fucking 15 minutes of the goddamn show. That is awesome. That is like, if Disney wanted to prove a point that or Kevin Feige wanted to prove a point that this Daredevil Born Again TV series is going to be different, he fucking got it. One thing is it's awesome that the very first scenes of like the very first, I mean, I guess fight scene you see in the show is a one shot, like in the original like season 1, like the hallway one shot, the very famous one shot, where Daredevil just fighting those guys in the hallway, goes through the door, comes out, you know, guy flies across the hallway. He has like, he doesn't have the Daredevil suit yet. He has like just the black half mask and the rope wrappings around his hand. I just love that I feel like, especially in this first episode, this very first hour of this show, that we get very much like a homage to the first show, pay homage to like what the Netflix original show did for the genre of MCU TV. I think like the way the Netflix shows were shot are how all the MCU TV shows that are based on Earth are shot. Number one cinephile opinion, if you guys are keeping track, if you want to keep a counter, please keep a counter and put it in the comments. The way the cinematography is shot in Daredevil season 1 and also Punisher and all those shows, I feel like have been translated into how all the shows are shot on Disney Plus and Disney Plus originals. I'm speaking more about like Hawkeye, Falcon Winter Soldier, Echo, Born Again, of course, and also what's that other one? I want to say She-Hulk because it's kind of filmed that way, but not really. But it's like that weird grainy feeling of like a gritty action thriller that, you know, isn't really an action thriller, like the very big, like the very, you know, sleek letterboxing and the tight angles sometimes whenever stuff is happening. Like Echo has that, especially in the fight scene where Daredevil gets introduced into the show, where she's trying to fight these guys and she's running away, and it's like this very fearful factor of like, this dude in red is coming to get me and I can't hear shit because I'm deaf and I also have one leg and I'm still kicking ass. Like and also that show is adds a lot to Vincent D'Onofrio's depiction of Kingpin. Anyways, another tangent, that's a whole other show. Let's get back to Born Again. But I'm just saying that let's just congratulate that it's back, especially Wilson Bethel as Bullseye. Oh my god, dude, that's one, he's kind of hot. Two, damn, like that was okay. So the whole thing about the show that I liked, especially the first 2 episodes, is the fact of how down to earth, like grounded the show feels, like connected, as in like it doesn't feel like a Spider-Man Far From Home where you're still going to like a city but it still feels extravagant or over the top, kind of like Hawkeye, how he goes to a LARPing contest and it still kind of feels a little bit extravagant. I feel like I'm contradicting myself when I said it's kind of shot the same way, but what I'm saying is that Born Again seems like a completely different TV show at all the other Disney Plus originals, and the way that they shot everything seems like very specific towards how Daredevil is supposed to be. One of the first notes that I have is that he's more comic accurate. In the first episode, we started off with them, our 3 beautiful protagonists, Foggy, Karen, and Matt, leaving their newfangled little neighborhood lawyer practice, and they go to this bar for this retirement of some detective, some sort of party. I didn't really care. I mean, honestly, I was more distracted about Karen and Matt's all like flirting and stuff like that, where Foggy's trying to spit game. Dude's trying to use his riz to catch this hot like lawyer girl at the bar, and Karen's just like, she got her arm on the table, and like, you know, Matt's like sitting down and her arm is like right here, bro, like she open arm service for my fine dining people. Like, she's like, yeah, so why don't we like get out of here? Why don't we just get out of here? And I'm like, get out of here? What you mean by Karen? What you mean by you trying to fucking blow me? Yeah. And it's like definitely violates the friend code or whatever. She's like, friend code. And she says like some sort of joke about like friends with benefits. And it's just like what? Why would I pay attention to anything else that's fucking going on in this goddamn TV show? This older detective guy is talking to a younger detective saying like, hey, you're quitting. He's like, no, I'm just retiring, blah, blah, blah. And then Foggy gets a phone call. And what I like about the show is this is when it first kind of sets up that Matt is very superhuman. And in the Netflix original, I feel like they didn't depict it as well as they do in Born Again anymore. The way they did it in the Netflix original was very much like superpower. This has in Born Again, I feel like it does feel like a superpower, but like in an indie way, kind of like how like Chronicle depicted telekinesis and all that kind of stuff, just very grainy, just kind of like feels like you can actually see this in real life. In one of the coolest shots in the first 20 minutes of this goddamn show, he locks in. Matt like locks into the noise, and there's like a little like lens flare that just like, it looks like just a spotlight right on his like ear, and it's like such a cool shot, and it's like right after him and Karen are like giggling like, "Ooh, I'd fuck tonight." I wish it did. I wish it happened. Dude, Charlie Cox, hit me up, man, anytime, brother. Tell you what. Anyways, sorry, thirsty on the main again. And so Foggy's talking to this guy named Benny. Like, hey, yo, Benny. Hey, Benny. Look, man, someone's coming after me, Foggy. You gotta come and save me. And then Foggy's like, dude, you're fine. Like, you're in my apartment. You're gonna be safe. You're gonna be okay. You know? Like, you're gonna be fine, dude. Like, calm down. And then that's when Matt's like, something's going on. Of course, Karen and Foggy know that he's Daredevil, so they're like, oh god, Daredevil tingles. And so they go outside, and Foggy's like, look, I have Benny stashed in my apartment. Apparently some people are after him, and he doesn't feel safe. And then in the phone call, you hear Benny start struggling over on the other lines. And then Karen gets shocked, and everyone's like, what the fuck's going on? Gonna find out. Your boy Bullseye's back, and he's like, where the fuck is Foggy? And yeah, Foggy. I always want to say Froggy, but his name's Foggy. And in the foggy street, right through the chest. Oh wait, before we recap that, one of my notes was enhanced hearing, scene, and lighting. Like, I feel like even like in the first and second episode, that the whole thing, it seems as though the show is being shot every time it surrounds Matt Murdock. There's a lot of nice tight close-ups, especially in the fight scenes, like the one shot. There's a lot of tight close-ups on like people's hearing and that kind of stuff. But then when you switch to other characters, when they're the focus, you don't really get a lot of that, which I think is really cool. It's like it's different than the Netflix original show. I feel like they didn't really do that. But the next thing is like a lot. It was what I liked about She-Hulk and Echo, is that they're showing Daredevil was a lot more comically accurate. Look, I'm not one of those guys, okay? Actually, Daredevil. No, I don't give a fuck. But what I do like is that they're showing that Daredevil is not just like a one shot hallway fight scene guy. Like, he has like these like gymnastic stuff. Like, he has like with the batons and like throwing up. Like, he's on par with Spider-Man with the traversal. Maybe not as good as Spider-Man, but he can keep up with Spider-Man. And I like how in the first 15 minutes of the first episode, they show that he like goes and like he's twirling around doing backflips and shit and parkouring everywhere. It's freaking awesome. Anyways, that's what I like about it, is a little more like Daredevil, like movement tech seems to be on par with how it is in the comics. All right. And I'm so disappointed that I did that. So disappointed I did that. Then what ensues after is probably one of the best intros I think it is the best intro for a Disney Plus original show I've ever seen in my entire life. Foggy gets hit in the chest, and a battle ensues. And not just any battle, as in one of the best fight scenes I've seen in an MCU thing so far. Like, it is on par with some of the Shang-Chi stuff. It's on par with some of the other shit that we've been seeing. It is so good. Like, the Hawkeye fight scenes and all the Daredevil like cameos and like She-Hulk and Echo are freaking awesome. But this fight scene really sets the bar for the rest of the show. And I think they knew that. I think that's why they did it. Like, this whole one shot of them fighting on the street, going through the window at the bar, and all the other main characters that were introduced throughout this like first 15 minutes are like struggling, like, what's going on? Karen's holding Foggy's chest, like blood is seeping out of the hole of his chest. You see like this like old detective who just got like, you know, just retired, is like coughing because there's a smoke grenade that just came out like into the bar. And then you see right when he's about to shoot Karen, you see Daredevil sweep in, they go through the window, they're fighting through the freaking bar. And then he runs, and you see that Bullseye throughout the whole time. What I loved is the detail-oriented shit that's happening in this one shot. Because every one shot, what you see is what you see. You can't cut shit. I mean, you can add shit with like post-production and like, you know, like CGI and shit like that. But what I will say, the CGI was a little bit noticeable when it comes to like their suits fighting and stuff like that. I did kind of catch some of that. But what I really caught was what Bullseye was doing around him. Because it seems as though one of my biggest notes on here is that Bullseye wasn't there for Daredevil. And what I mean by that is he wasn't there just to like get back at Daredevil for season 3 of Daredevil. I said Daredevil 3 times in one sentence. So sorry guys. I don't know how to talk. It seems as though he was sending a message. Because throughout that fight scene, Bullseye was trying to kill anyone around him. When he blocked a hit from Daredevil, threw a knife at a guy next to him. Daredevil slaps him in the face, falls off the pool table, throws the cue ball or an 8-ball at someone's head. He throws another thing into a girl's face, and then Daredevil catches her. He's like, "Are you okay?" Like, it's like he was trying to ensue so much fucking chaos. And just I don't think Foggy was his target. I mean, he asked Benny where Foggy was, and now he got like Foggy. It seemed as though like he was trying to cause so much fucking chaos around Daredevil, and the one shot depicted that so goddamn well. It was like a Godzilla fight. How Godzilla's stepping everywhere, boom, boom. You always have those human characters that are running away from his feet and running away from the disaster that's happening. Like, that's literally what is going on right now. You have a detective trying to run out of the bar. You have Karen like holding Foggy down, and the camera pans back in just the same shot, and you see Daredevil and Bullseye fucking fighting. It was a masterpiece. It was awesome. Sorry, I'm like dying because it was such a cool fight scene. I was enamored with every second. Them like switching to like these stairs, and the way that they're tired, and the way like they stop, and they're like on the other side of each other in the hallway. It in that little staircase is just so it's so like masterfully done, and I'm kind of pleasantly surprised. I just haven't really been like trustworthy with like Marvel stuff because I've been getting disappointed too many times. And honestly, I don't want to be a diehard fan. I'm not trying to be like, oh, blah, this person, like they're fucking throwing it away, bro. That shit is getting pumped with this kind of shit. Like, I don't give a fuck. I don't care. Like I said, I'm a self-proclaimed cinephile. I'm only gonna be looking at like the art part of it all. I'm never gonna think about that kind of stuff. I really don't. I feel like I really don't. I mean, like, follow my Letterboxd. You should see my review for Challengers. Like, what I'm saying is like, it was very beautifully and artistically done. Like, this whole one shot was shot with such detail, and they wanted to tell themselves apart from what they set in the Netflix show and what the other Disney Plus shows with Daredevil set the precedent of who he was. And this, especially in the show itself, not even thinking about the politics of it all, even for story purposes in the show itself, that one shot was Matt's last dance in the devil suit. Like, it was the last dance in red. He's running and he's trying to find, especially when Foggy says like, maybe I just didn't want to give you a reason, because they've been so worried about it, because he's almost died so many times in the first 3 seasons of Daredevil, especially like in Punisher season 1. And like, Karen Page and Foggy Nelson have always been people who have not wanted vigilantes to happen, especially Daredevil, especially like how Karen and Frank have had like this like, will they, won't they, throughout the whole first season, you know, that kind of thing, especially like in Daredevil season 2 as well. It's just like, it's such a huge topic of like vigilanteism, especially in these TV shows. And the way they show, like the show literally called Daredevil Born Again. We need to see the devil fall from grace. He is like we need to see him fall from grace. We need to see him like cross that line. And this scene, this one shot depicted it so well, especially throughout the fight scene. His hearing locking into Karen crying to Foggy, saying like, stay awake, it's gonna be okay, while he's fighting for his fucking life, getting like 5 knives into his chest. There's 3 in his back, there's 2 in his thigh, and he's still, bam, hitting him in the face through the freaking stairs. And he still was able to kip up and like parkour up the staircase and still beat the fuck out of him. And then they're on the roof, and Charlie Cox's acting has always been so good. Everything that I've seen him in, like not even Daredevil, like there's a couple of like BBC shows that I've seen him in movies that I've seen him in, that he just acts so wonderfully. And especially in this scene, that he has already been provoked to almost cross the line multiple times, especially in the Daredevil show when he's beating the shit at Kingpin. He's finally won. He's like, I won. Like, he wasn't trying to kill him, but like that dark side has been creeping up on him. I think the first 2 episodes of this show definitely show the fact of the dark side of everyone's personality and the Dr. Jekyll and Hyde of it all, and especially Fisk and Kingpin with Matt and Daredevil is very much like a I don't want to say I went like a fucking snake. They're 2 sides of the same coin. And especially after that one shot when he on the top of the rooftop, when he sees that this is finally they cut after the one shot. They cut to Foggy and Karen. I think they cut twice in the one shot. I mean, a couple of times to cut back to Karen and Foggy. And she's like holding his chest. Like, it's gonna be okay. And then the one shot ensues, and then now the one shot's over. You see the cityscape behind Matt and a Bullseye, and you see like the whole cityscape, and he has his head, and you see that he's beating the fuck out of him, and he looks and he's crying. He's like, dude, it broke my heart. I was sobbing, like I really was crying hardcore when Foggy died. It was like the most insane. I didn't think I didn't expect that to happen. I honestly thought Karen was gonna die, but it makes sense that Foggy died, and you can see when Matt decides to cross that line where he's asking Bullseye like, hey, like, why? Like, he's like punching him. He's like, why? He has him like right at the edge of this building, like, why? And Bullseye just like looks at him, smiles, and like practically like he like hits him on the shoulders like, good game. Like, you know, we were gonna tussle like this. Like, we knew this was gonna happen. And then Matt, like, you can see in his blind eyes, like, he made a decision, like, fuck you. Toss him off the fucking building. When I saw that, I kind of forgot that we were watching like a superhero thing. Like, this whole one shot made it seem like it was like something out of like South Korea or Thailand, like The Raid or Bangkok Knockout or anything that Donnie Yen has done in China, like those types of like action movies, like Extraction, like all those. Like, I thought I was watching something like that, especially like that one especially I keep saying one shot, but especially the continuous shot of them going all the way up there and then him throwing him off the building, him smacking his fucking head on the ground. Like, you hear that shit plopped. By the way, fucking surviving is insane to me, which I'm honestly glad that he did survive, because one of my main problems with this whole Matt putting Daredevil away because he crossed that line is because like he didn't, and what I think is gonna be a problem in the future is what I should say, is that he didn't kill Bullseye. He had the intent to kill him, but he survived the fall anyways. And I think there's gonna be a part in the show where Matt does not want to come back as Daredevil, and someone in his life is like, you did not kill Bullseye. He survived. That was not on you. And then Daredevil can come back. I think, like, I love the introduction of a Catholic man, especially Matt Murdock, raised Catholic, all that kind of stuff. I'm not trying to bring religion into it, but I think Daredevil was very much a huge religious, like, person in Marvel. I mean, like, in the original Civil War comics, he gives 3 pieces of silver to Iron Man. He's like, what is this? He was like, it's your payment, Judas. Like, 3 pieces of silver for, you know, just like, and just the whole thing of, like, Daredevil, that's like his whole personality, is that redemption and not like revenge, but a retribution and that kind of stuff, like those kind of like Catholic ideals that like he has taken into his own to be the vigilante Daredevil. And I think that especially him using a penance of putting away the Daredevil suit and promising himself, making a covenant with himself to never wear the mantle again because of the line that he has crossed, the sin that he committed, which was trying to kill someone. And I think that even in the first 3 seasons of Daredevil, maybe not season 2, but very much season 3 and season 1, has a lot of due to the fact, I mean, they had a whole priest character in the show. They had a lot to do with the fact of like how Matt Murdock is able to separate church and state, like separate like the way he deals justice with the way that he is Catholic. Like, he has to be a lawyer, separation of church and state, with him being a vigilante, which already blurs the line of morality. And I think Daredevil was a huge character that would represent the separation between church and state, and also the blurred line that comes to that when he becomes someone that is lawless, which is like a vigilante. Wow, that was really deep, and I did not mean to get that deep. Let's just go back into the review. Mrs. Fisk, let me just say, wood, lights on, eye contact, like wood. Holy moly, she's now the criminal mastermind of the whole Fisk Corporation. That's fucking sick. She is Queen Pin. Queen Pin. Am I right, guys? I don't believe Fisk. It's like True Detective Season 2. I wrote down True Detective Season 2. Well, first off, the whole after, you know, the year happens and they're in the court when Bullseye gets convicted of murder in the first degree and goes to prison for life. The way these tight fucking angles tell such a good goddamn story, like the tight close-up to Bullseye and his like unrelenting merciless like look, like he does not feel bad, and like the tight close-up to him, then the tight close-up to Matt talking on the stand, and then the, I don't know how to call it, that indie film thing where like it looks far away but it's still zooming in. It's just so good. They did that with Karen when she walked in, and like it's such a good like cinematography. Oh my god, it's such a good cinematography technique that I just fucking love. And they do the same thing, that tight close up when they're saying the hearing, and he goes to life, and Matt's like, yes, like God, dude, God, such a good show. Anyways, Karen's pissed off at him because he disappeared after everything. Because I think, especially because she says like, I lost a friend too, and then I lost you. You just went all over. And he was like, he says, I refuse for a tragedy to change, to like make things like crumble. Like I refuse to let a tragedy destroy everything that we had. And then Karen's just like, it already did. And he's like, fuck, man, we were gonna fuck. Like, damn it. Like, no, Karen, like stay 5 more minutes. And she now lives in San Francisco, which I feel like maybe Frank Castle's with her, you know? But that's what I thought when I was watching the show. Then later on, when I heard Fisk's inauguration speech, I immediately thought like, okay, like Frank Castle's not with Karen. Fucking stupid. Anyways, I love the fact that instead of the tragedy bringing them closer together, and especially them showing that they're very close enough to the fact that they almost fucked again, or sorry, had sex again, made love again. The whole friends with benefits thing with like Karen and Matt, especially like the continuation of their sexual attraction of the first 3 seasons of Daredevil, showing before Foggy's death how happy it was, how good it was, especially Matt saying like, hey, I mean, the city can protect itself, but he still becomes Daredevil and Foggy gets killed because of it. And I think that's the main reason why Matt put the suit away. Yeah, of course, like he crossed that line, he tried to kill someone, but also the fact that like there's this thought that if he was never Daredevil, then people like Bullseye might not, like, it's like that thing with Iron Man where like when Tony Stark confessed to be Iron Man, the amount of enhanced persons like grew exponentially. I'm talking like this is actual history. I'm talking about this like it's fucking like it's gonna be in the history books in a couple of like fucking years. I don't know how to talk about this and not sound like I know everything like historically and timeline wise of Marvel, because I fucking do, and I don't know how to talk about it like it's not a fucking historical event. Like I'm talking about D-Day. I'm not talking about Normandy, okay? I'm talking about New York City, Hell's Kitchen, fucking Daredevil. Anyways, yeah, the tight angles, especially during like that, and then it's when Matt kind of loses his cool little bit. He's like, yes, when he hears like the life in prison sentence, there's such a point to say that Matt has this uncontrollable anger. Even in like the other shows, previous shows, and especially in this one, there's like this uncontrollable anger that makes him turn into the devil instead of him using the devil as a tool for justice. It's like he's losing it. You know what I mean? I didn't talk about the intro. We'll talk about that later. Then it switches to Fisk, and Fisk, is he evil? Is he even like, is he being real right now? Is he like actually trying to change? And what I wrote down is True Detective Season 2, where if you haven't seen it, I'm gonna try and make it as spoiler free as possible. I think you should definitely see season 2 True Detective. I think it's it just depends. Like, if you really like season 1 of True Detective, then it's gonna be hard to watch season 2 because season 2 is so much different and there's so much more. Like, if season 1 was like already kind of like a complicated mystery, which not really, but like it still kind of confused people. Like, it confused me. I didn't know what the ending was. My sister guessed it off rip, like the 3rd episode. Like, me and my parents couldn't guess the ending. When we watched season 2, it was a whole lot more. That whole roadmap for season 2 is insane. It gets confusing, convoluted, excuse me, but the characters and the character arcs that these characters go on in season 2 is so worth seeing. Anyways, that's my rant for season 2 True Detective. It's fucking amazing. Vince Vaughn, well, you did so good in that. You deserved so many awards. Almost cried, so sorry. Ooh, got fucking goosebumps just thinking about season 2 of True Detective. Ooh. There's a gay boy, a cowboy, a woman, and Vince Vaughn. They all walk into a bar, and that's the whole season. Anyways, so stupid. The reason why I bring up True Detective season 2 is that I specifically want to say Vince Vaughn's character. Excuse me. Of course, spoiler free. Vince Vaughn's character used to be a crime dude. Like, he like ran drugs, and he like had a criminal organization throughout the city of Valero, California, I think is what it was called. He had a criminal organization, and he ran everything, or so he thought. In the show, you see in the beginning that he's trying to be better. He's trying to be an actual businessman. Like, he's running a business, like owning property and that kind of stuff. He's not in the criminal organization anymore. And when push comes to shove, he falls back to who he was before, aka the criminal guy. Like, there's this spoiler free, but there is a scene where you see him cross that line from him being like that politician to who those politicians wanted him to be in the first place. And it's like he can't escape that. And I think that's what Fisk is right now. And instead of a whole season's worth of arc that is wasted into him becoming an evil man, we kind of see that almost immediately. First, you question it. It's just like, this city has a plague. I want to cure it. Vigilantes, blah, blah, blah. And especially that's episode 2. Okay, a lot happened, and it's an hour and 15 minutes, okay? I just finished watching it like 30 minutes ago, okay? So let's just calm down. Anyways, I don't like Heather. We'll get back to that. This weird politician vibe from Fisk is just not working at all. Especially like him and Vanessa like kind of being in the outs. I like how Vanessa is such a huge part of Kingpin's story, especially even in the comics and Spider-Verse and all that kind of stuff. I love that in this depiction of Vanessa, that she's not just a harmless wife that's just like, oh no, Kingpin, please don't. She is a strong, independent girl boss who's gonna gatekeep her marriage, as in not let him back in the fucking house. You know what I'm saying? Like, gatekeep her fucking, like, love and romance. Like, she's girl bossing, gatekeeping, and gaslight. I haven't seen her gaslight yet. But she is literally running the criminal organization that Fisk left when he had to recover after what happened in Echo. Was it Echo? I mean, he got his ass beat in Hawkeye. Like, he got his ass beat in Hawkeye, but he also, like, was fine completely. In Echo, I think Echo, like, tried to shoot him or something. I think she got shot. Like, vigilante violence is what he said, but I just think he got a good ass kicking. I don't even remember Echo very much. I kind of, like, breezed through it, but I really liked it. I think like, the first 2 episodes like just better. Anyways, Fisk pretending to be his politician is very, very it's right to the course. I mean, if you have Daredevil and Fisk have been fighting since the first season of the Netflix show, or Daredevil and Kingpin. I want to make sure we have that 2 different distinctions, especially with Born Again being so much like having so much to do about your dark side and your light side, trying to do good, and what is like the blurred line between church and state, and also the blurred line between good and bad. I think we need to make sure that we keep a separation between Matt and Daredevil, Fisk and Kingpin, so there's 2 different people. Kingpin is the man that like squished a man's head. Daredevil is the man that just threw Bullseye off of a roof. So we have these two people that are trying to do better with the lives that they have been given. Matt is now like part of like this big firm and stuff like that, and he's trying to let a tragedy ruin his life, even though it was his best friend. And I think it's because he's not really letting himself properly grieve. I think he said that he grieved, but not really. I think the only way he's gonna properly grieve is if he wears the mantle again. That's just me. That's the same thing with Fisk. I think if he wants to get over, I mean, he's never gonna change. Especially after the events of episode 2, he's never gonna change. And even in this episode 1, when he's trying to say, "Look, I'm changing. Look, like this is me. I'm a different man. I am the mayor of this city. I am the mayor of New York City. You know." And I hold on, let me see if I can do it. I am the mayor of New York City. I'm Wilson Fisk. If I see you go back to any of your past work, there will be consequences. Alright, rate 1 to 10 how good that was. I can't do a Daredevil very much. I can do an Italian guy who just saw Daredevil beat the shit out of a random guy. Holy shit, dude. He just fucking beat up that guy for fucking stealing a piece of bread. Anyways, that's going in the video. That kind of sucks, huh? Does that suck? You can cut this if you want to. Anyways, so I like how both characters have a temptation to them. You have Fisk, where he comes back to his wife and just like, "Look, I'm gonna run for mayor. I have the 25,000 signatures so I can run. I'm gonna have a campaign. I need you to make sure that my name doesn't come up on any of this." And then she gets pissed off, saying like, "You're gonna leave me forever, walk in, interrupt the meeting, and make everyone in the room shit their pants, walk out, aka showing disrespect to my criminal organization that I kept for you, and you're gonna demand for me to erase your name off of everything? 1, fuck you. 2, okay, fine. But she said, of course, like you're still my husband. Like, of course, like, you know, and you can tell that she still loves him, but she had to take care of the criminal organization that he just up and left from. And I can tell like that temptation to Fisk is strong, especially because that is the woman that he loves, a woman he's been intimate with, and she's running the whole criminal organization. He's trying to run for fucking mayor of New York City. Like, what the fuck? Anyways, and with Matt, him taking the him being unfortunately being able to work on these cases and kind of telling himself like, "Hey, like I'm not that guy anymore," even though he hired the retired cop. Oh, by the way, the retired cop saw that Daredevil is Matt Murdock. I kind of forgot to tell you that because now they work together, and you can tell that the cop kind of wants Matt to come back as Daredevil. Also, my biggest gripe of the whole show is this weird BB report. This girl named BB just like YouTubing, and she's just like having fun YouTubing, and she like interviewed Fisk a couple of times, and I don't know what her ploy is, but I think she might get defended by Matt Murdock as well at this point. This is very much a lawyer show. Like I kind of like that. I like that like Matt Murdock is now defending another vigilante against like corrupt like cops, which is really, really cool. I think that's episode 2. Let me see my notes. That is not an episode 2. I am so sorry. I got myself carried away. I'm not gonna lie, I can barely read this. Anyways, I wanted to bring this up. This weird grainy filter that is kind of on the show. Like, I don't want to say grainy filter, but it's very indie film filter. Like, it's like very much like a Disney like smacked a filter on it, and it was just like, look how indie this looks. Look at these camera angles. Look at these tight close-ups of a character's face without even like changing in, like the focus. Look at me. I'm Disney. I'm indie now. Like it very much has like that feeling for it. Now that like Fisk and Matt had that talk in the diner, especially like them telling each other like, look, like both like, I'm watching you. You step out of line, I'm coming after you. And I like how they're telling themselves that too. It's just like, don't make me be the man I don't want to become. It's like they're each other's temptation, but throughout that episode, we're introduced by the other temptation that they have. We have Karen kind of being like, well, Matt, you changed too. Like, you want to put away the mantle and stuff like that, and like you cross the line or whatever. But like, you are that person. You are Daredevil. And like he said, I'm not that man anymore. And Karen immediately gets pissed off and tries to leave. And he's just like, oh, come on. Because it's not true. Like, him putting away that person is like him shutting out like his best friend, like shutting out like the grievance and the grief that he needs to feel better and to be Daredevil again. And with Fisk having to repair all the trauma that he's been like experiencing every single Disney Plus original show. We had Echo, we had fucking we had all three seasons of Daredevil, and also the beating that Frank Castle gave him. Like, it's just like, yeah, of course that dude's got trauma. And the temptation of him switching back to dark side of Kingpin is very much there, because like a lot of the officials are against him, even though the people are not. I mean, he gets voted as the mayor. Like, he is the mayor of the city of New York. Kind of cool, not gonna lie. What I like to compare Vanessa, aka Mrs. Fisk, to is Lady Macbeth. That's like immediately what I felt like, where it was just like that she's just that temptation that like at any moment, like she could tell him like kill the king, and he's gonna kill the king, like get his hands bloodied. And I think like Vanessa very much has this wall up, like this very big wall, thick wall that Kingpin can't run through and punch through. And the temptation of like how like Lady Macbeth tells Macbeth like, hey, like you will be able to rule this kingdom if you kill this guy. It's like that temptation's there, but she's not giving it out to him like Lady Macbeth has. Like, it's like she's a lady in waiting Macbeth. Like she's in waiting. Like she doesn't know how she feels about her husband coming back unannounced and all that kind of stuff. But we also have her with this whole criminal organization that he left. And now he's the mayor of New York, kind of doing it on his own. He has his own little like crew of people, all that kind of stuff, and his wife's not in the picture. But she's still running that criminal organization. It's like, especially that scene when like he wins and he's like saying hi to everyone, like he's shaking his like thank you so much, and he turns and he sees her from afar, and like she kind of disappears and like looks at him, cheers, and disappears into the crowd. It's just like that temptation is gonna be there, especially in episode 2 when we get there. That's like that's really, really cool. Anyways, the one other thing that I wrote down was this is stupid. White light equals Fisk, Kingpin. Red equals Daredevil, Matt Murdock. Especially at the end of episode 1 when we see Kingpin's like up and like the white light hitting him, and you see like Matt Murdock kind of like looking up, and he has like the red light on him. I think that's really cool about how like, yeah, I'm not gonna say something so artistic about it. I'm already kind of feeling cringed up. Their dark sides are right behind them. Episode 2 was really freaking cool, especially the name Optics kind of running the show here, having like the whole episode be about like what other people think of these characters, especially everyone around Matt just being like, bro, like why are you taking a case of a cop killer? And especially like him, the way he sees himself optics wise of a vigilante, especially him taking this case with the white tiger. Also, I just want to point out that's really freaking cool that they just kind of whatever, his medallion gives him like superpowers. It's like, it's such a normalized thing, which I think is that's like one of my favorite things, is that when like stuff like that is just normalized. It's just awesome. Like, I just love it. It's just like, my client cannot be considered his vigilante form because he did not have his medallion that gave him enhanced powers, and he didn't have his white suit. And then the other guys are like, oh, pish posh, and the judge is like, okay, I guess. Like, it's just like just it being normal is just so fucking awesome. Especially that's what I liked about She-Hulk too. I know I'm like the only person that likes She-Hulk. I think it's because I love her and I love him, Charlie Cox, and the whole like walk of shame is like one of like the best like scenes I've ever seen in my entire life. I love the like I just love that whole interaction with what's her name, Tatiana Maslany and Charlie Cox, especially like they're like little like ooh, especially like he's like, I can hear the heartbeats. Yeah, it's a little far-fetched, and he's like, I can hear yours, and like really close, and she's like, oh, we're gonna fuck you, and then they fuck, which is awesome. I love his suit in that show too. The gold and the red is fucking sick. Anyways, cool cool. Oh my god, let's talk about the intro now. Now that we're like starting off in the second episode, let's talk about the intro. What I mentioned before about how like Matt Murdock has put away Daredevil because he crossed the line. What I like is that in that first like 20 minutes, everything that he is kind of crumbles down to the ground, like it fully crumbles. Like Foggy's down on the ground dying, his friends, his mask, he throws it off the roof, doesn't care that his identity is revealed. The line that he almost crossed, the sin that he committed that would be against his religion, is on the floor dying right there too. Bullseye. And then we cut straight to the intro as the mask is flown off the roof. It like floats and then turns into the intro credits. 1, fucking awesome. 2, metaphors. Because in the whole intro, you have Fisk, you have Lady Justice and the scales of justice kind of crumbling into it. You have like a police badge, you have like New York City crumbling and the Statue of Liberty, the Nelson and Murdoch and Page sign kind of crumbling down too, and you have like the Punisher mask crumbling down. And then at the end of the intro, it fully combines into Daredevil himself, and it says Daredevil Born Again. I like how it kind of like, it's everything that Daredevil is. Fisk kind of made Daredevil who he was. You have like Nelson and Murdoch, of course, the justice side of things, like blind justice and Lady Justice with like the scales, and how Daredevil is like the one that tips them, and like, you know, the blurred line between church and state, like with like Lady Justice and the church crumbling into becoming him. Like that is a part of him, that is like an aspect of him, and all coming back. I think this whole show is gonna fully have him control his anger through these things that are crumbling and being him again. Also, what I like to mention is that Punisher and Spider-Man are running around the city being cool as shit. That's what Fisk said on the news. A guy wearing a skull, vigilantes, a spider running around, swinging around the city. I'm like, yo, those are my boys. Anyways, that's such a good fucking hell yeah. So this was a good show. I'm not gonna lie, this was a really, really good show. Cinematography wise, acting wise, like god damn it. I want to watch the whole show now. What happened to just releasing the whole season in one? I guess because they want the engagement and they want the views, so that like it's a better measurement of if people like the show, is the retention rate between like the release dates of the episodes. But damn, do I miss when they just released the whole season all at once in one night and you could just watch the whole thing, man. Anyways, not much really to talk about in this episode that like I really like want to like review. I don't really care about the commissioner not liking Fisk. I mean, I get it, it's like important to like Fisk already being like he's already fallen into temptation. He took pictures of his wife and his affair and his secret kid at some sandwich shop. And like he's already Kingpin again. Like I don't give a fuck. These corrupt cops and White Tiger I think is really like interesting. I like how both sides of the story, Fisk, and I like how like it's called Daredevil Born Again, but it should also be called Daredevil Kingpin Born Again, because it's like both of them finding their footing after like these traumas that they're trying to like get over. Really like that. And then now we have them like kind of like sharing the two sides of the coin, where like they're kind of falling back into their dark spots, especially Matt tailing the corrupt cop from the White Tiger investigation. Long story short, dude who's usually a vigilante but wasn't wearing a suit saw these two guys beating up this guy. He tries to like, you know, get in and like save him. Then one guy trips over the other guy, gets hit by the subway. The victim runs away, and the other guy pulls out a badge and goes, NYPD! And they try to sign a confession. They try to force him to sign a confession. Then Matt comes in and goes, I'm your lawyer now. Fucking awesome. And now Matt Murdock sides with cop killers, which is crazy. Especially because this White Tiger guy, Hector, did not kill that guy. So now we have like this like storyline of like a new mayor in town and the commissioner kind of being blackmailed by Fisk when there are cops in his force that are corrupt right now. And I like that how like Matt has this case of this vigilante, especially when Fisk said he wants to shut down all vigilantes. being accused of killing a cop when it's his system, Fisk's police system, or the mayor of the city, whatever, you know what I mean. The police system under Fisk's reign is corrupt. So that's what I really like about how the parallels between Fisk and Matt Murdock is really, really cool. He blackmails the commish. Daredevil, or Matt, tails this motherfucker. And next thing you know, Daredevil comes back, baby. Hold on, look. I said Daredevil is back. Also, Punisher tattoo? Punisher tattoo? Is he like one of like Punisher's dudes? Does he have like a little army maybe? Cause he had a full on like skull. Like he had a skull. Like right, it was like right here. It was like a skull and stuff like that. Like what the fuck was that for? Yeah. Oh yeah, Heather. I forgot about Heather. Heather is a woman that what's her name? The girl that Murdock is like part of a firm of now. The one that Foggy was trying to hook up with in the first episode before he tragically died. They are now in a firm together. And she tells Matt, hey, like, can you talk to his doctor? I don't know, like, what her case wants to be, but she's meeting up for coffee. And then he meets up for coffee, and he's just like, so, like, legally, like, what do you want, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, I thought you wanted a therapist. He's like, oh my God, she's trying to set us up. And she's like, I don't date lawyers. And he's like, all right, well, and then, you know, Matt, the Rizzler Murdoch, goes in and he goes, sit down on my face. And then they go on a couple of dates, and then she's like, give me some. And he's like, I will. Oh, I'm blind, but I ain't, something about taste. Okay, anyways. This is such a weird video format. I don't know how you guys are gonna like this. I kind of like holding the microphone though. I feel very professional holding the microphone. This is kind of fun. I do like holding the microphone. Maybe I'll hold it like this for like a little bit. Anyways, hi. I don't really like Heather. She seems like pretty cool, but she also is kind of like meh. But anyways, the reason why I bring up Heather is because, like, you know, Heather and Matt are getting really close, and, you know, they're being intimate, and they're being intimate of everything. And then next thing you know, you have like Fisk's guy following her around, and you're just like, why? Like, what's going on here? Like, why is like one of no, oh, my fucking dog, mom. Second. Stay. I think he's gonna stay. Where's the cowboy at? Oh, it's on the floor. I'm not going for that. Anyways, so we have like Fisk's like main like secondary guy following this therapist around, and you're just like, what's going on here? And the next thing you know, plot twist, Heather is gonna be Fisk and Vanessa's couples therapist. And you're just like, what the fuck? Like how is that gonna work? I mean, Matt's gonna be tempted into like snooping, and then it's all gonna be like season 1 of Daredevil again. Like, but you know what? I don't care anymore. I don't care you broke your elbow. Damn, he kind of fell kind of hard, man. All right, let's put him right there. All right, don't look at me like that, you weirdo. Everything. Okay. Good. That I like the fact that you kind of like we get more in tune with Fisk's emotions with Vanessa. Vanessa doesn't trust him anymore after everything that's happened. She's like, I don't know how to feel when he comes back. Is he back for power? Is he back for me? And then Fisk, the only thing he says is that I just don't want to lose my wife. I'm like, dude, this guy, he wins my heart every time. I love Vincent D'Onofrio so much, man. Anyways, Matt tails the corrupt cop, and then he gets to this apartment. He's like, oh my God, it's the apartment of the guy, the victim that was on the platform. Daredevil rushes to that apartment, tells the guy, look, I'm gonna help you out. I'm gonna save you. Go down the fire escape. Cops are here. They're trying to kill you. And then they come in, and Matt's just like posted up like, what's up, bitch? I'm the blind guy. I'm the lawyer. And the cop's just like, I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna kill you anyways. And Matt gets beat the fuck up. I like the scene, I love that little detail of like the blood falling off and like hitting like the ground. of like, and then of course red, blood, Daredevil. I like that thing where it's just like he's trying to contain his anger. He's trying to like, please don't do this. Like, please don't do this. And then the cop's just like, I do it. Like, kill the lawyer. He's like, well, he's a lawyer. He's like, don't care, do it. And so he's like, all right. And he pulls the gun. He's about to, and he's like, please don't do this. And then fucking sick fight scene, yo. Just like disarms him, grabs his head, bam, to the table. And usually when I see this like move in like fight scenes in movies and stuff like that, the guy dies, but the other guy gets slammed on the fridge, taken by the collar, like shoulder, like, you know, like hip tossed over the shoulder, vertically onto the ground, neck first, and like hits the ground with a sickening snap, and then falls down to the ground. And what I liked in the episode, which is introduced, which is like ended or concluded in that fight scene, is when he picked up like, not the scent, but like the hearing of the guy's footsteps, you kept seeing a focus on the dude's shoes. And in the last scene you see of the guy is the bottom of his shoes, which is kind of sick. And then like you see like Matt just going, and he goes, ah, like, oh my god, the acting's so good. Like that scream is just, oh man, dude, Charlie Cox, please give me a chance. Anyways, he's really hot. But then that's how the episode ends, which I think is really, really cool. I didn't think of a grading system, but I guess I probably should, because I'm already at an hour talking about Daredevil Born Again, and I don't think I'm gonna cut any of this. I don't think I care enough. I am going to say episode 1 gets a 10 out of 10, and episode 2 gets a 9.3 out of 10, and that is it. Have a great day. Will I review the rest of the show? Who knows? If I do review, I'm probably gonna like just wait until the whole show is coming. I don't care. Get out of here. I'll see you on the next one.